I know I already said my 2020 farewells, but I wanted to pop on here really quickly and say, when you are sick in the physical body, you take your medicine, and then you stop taking your medicine when you're not sick, and you let the body do the rest, right, to get back to normal. And if you were to keep taking the medication that got you healthy, eventually that would be the thing that made you sick, right? Because it would keep knocking your body off of balance in the other direction. So let's use this in terms of energetics. When it comes to being a child who was raised to be dependent on somebody else. And if you're that child, you're very likely raised to believe that the only way that you were going to gain essential connection with somebody was through having a need, through being a deficit somehow, right? Because that's just what happens, especially if you have an incredibly codependent parent. They're going to create this deficit in you that you need them, period, right? Like they need you to need them. And that feels very, very smothering, and it feels like you're not even allowed to initiate. So if we looked at Erickson's stages of development, there's never that initiative period where you go out into the world without like a mother being like, oh, if you do that, be careful because you might, and then you need them to like clean up your messes all the time, right? So that frequency comes at a cost, because what will often happen is we try to change to be good enough for this person who's never going to let us be good enough for them, but also we enter into the field of self-development from a space of I need to be fixed because this person said that I was bad, or this person made me bad, right? So somebody said today, if I didn't feel like I needed to be fixed, I wouldn't need a therapist. And this is where people stay sick, and people get sick and stay sick, because one, if you believe that you get connection from needing something, you're never going to actually be able to get what you want and enjoy it, right? So there's a difference between, I have some people now in my present day, which is like a whole alternate universe compared to my old agency days, where like people were like doing crazy shit in my parking lot, coming in like, I need you, stumbling over themselves, versus like now people are like, hey, will you have coffee with me, and I'll pay you to like give me your perspective and share your time with you, right? Like totally different person. I never would have thought anybody in their right mind, quote unquote, would pay a therapist if they weren't broken, right? But there are people that do that, right, to stay whole. So I said to this person today, I do not see you as needing to be fixed. If I saw you as needing to be fixed, I would be doing you a disservice, right? I see where you are, which is you're in a hellish space vibrationally, but I don't see you as a person who needs to be fixed, right? So I want to ideally get stay with somebody until their body does its own work to like be its own medicine. And then after that, because I'm like skilled at psychotherapy and coaching, move the energetic momentum into, okay, now you're being coached. Now you're on the field. You're not excavating all the subconscious stuff anymore. And that can be a really lengthy process, but I want you to know that you are a whole human being, and that if anything in 2021, you bring the energy of 2021 into your heart right now, you don't need to be fixed to get what you want or to be better. It is literally when you accept yourself, which ideally psychotherapy will get you to that place that you do, and then from that self-acceptance, a coach will take you like, okay, got it. I'm gonna move out in the world with that, right? But it's in acceptance of yourself that you can change. And everybody's going, I hate this about myself, I have to change it. I hate this about myself, I have to change it. It's like, okay, you cannot change something that you resist. You can't get fully into it enough to actually transmute the frequency. So you must come at it from a place of I am whole. And I accept all of these broken bits as my whole self. And this is my wholeness. And some parts are super ugly. Some parts are a real bad angle. Some parts are amazing, like, whoa, I'm a fucking unicorn in here, right? You're all of it. And when you can accept all of that, instead of going, I don't like this part, so I'm gonna reject it, and I'm gonna project that onto other people so I don't have to deal with that in myself, and then your whole world is frustrating because you're projecting your own pain onto other people instead of actually accessing your pain, pulling it in and transmuting the frequency of it, and then your mirror changes, right? So we have to know that we have to get to a point, and ideally it's right now, where whatever medicine energetically you've been taking from the universe, you get to trust that you get it, and if it's like a maintenance program, that's one thing, but that you've already gotten it, and let it digest. I hear so many people just like, okay, got that concept, now what? Or like, there's just people will have a taste of a concept or a taste of a frequency and then be like, now what? Instead of digesting that, right? And being like, actually, there's a nugget in there for me, and I have to like actually sit with it to get it. So you are whole. You're whole. And I want you to move forward in 2020 from a space of you're allowed to get what you want. Like the people who are showing me now, it's these people who are my clients, which is like ironic, are showing me, whoa, you literally, there are people out there who just create lives to maintain their sanity, right? And it's not because they need to be fixed anymore. It's because they're going, I know what my, I know what my threshold is, and I need somebody to hold territory with me so I can make sure that I stay within it. So that's a different than a need-based person. And if a need-based person has an idea, I won't need a therapist, I won't need this. If I don't have a need that perpetuates the momentum of the story, I'm a needy person, I need to be fixed, instead of, oh, there are people out there who get those things because they don't have an association between need and connection. They go, I connect because I want to, instead of because this person needs me to, or I need this person, right? Totally different frequency. And ideally, if you're here, we're all on the track to getting to the one where we go, oh, that's allowed. Like people actually just like do that to maintain their sanity. They don't have to be broken and on the floor with cancer and dying to say, I've had enough. They're normal, and then they choose to stay normal, right? So let this be a lesson for people like us who have this idea that we need to be fixed, and that then we, if we're unhealthy, we get healthy, and then we do all of those overly healthy things, take all of the supplementation that we might not have needed at a different time, and we are doing it, which could theoretically make us not healthy. So it becomes, the medicine becomes the poison. I don't want that to happen to you when it comes to your self-development and your self-worth. So happy 2020. May you know yourself as whole, and may the frustrations that you see when somebody else sees you as whole and you're going, no, you don't see me. Like if you don't see my pain, you don't see me. May you know that they did not get put there on a pedestal by their mommy and daddy and never have life happen to them. They probably transmuted their pain, right? So it's very easy for us to be like, I resent you when you can't see that I'm in pain in this way, because just because I look like I'm not bleeding out doesn't mean I'm not. Yeah, they might see you and see you as whole, and their sight in seeing you as whole might actually heal you. Whereas sometimes I think that the therapeutic model can stretch on too long, where it's like, okay, I don't need to see you as that way anymore. I need to see you as a new whole person instead of in that story or that character. And we keep programmed to that story. Like if I am trained to the program, I don't serve you. So I see you as whole. And I hope that you can look in the mirror and see yourself as whole, and all of those broken bits are just a piece of your kaleidoscope, and they're all perfect, and they're going to move, and they're going to change, and they're not finite, right? They're all a part of you, though, and it's all your wholeness. All right. Happy 2020. Bye.